So fight. Just fight.
What are you doing? I mean, you're clearly muttering to yourself while staring at your reflection. But how come? You just that bored, or... Hey, you said so...
Hello everyone. Welcome back to Sansan, Best Anime Reaction. Last episode was quieter, but emotionally intense, showing us how deeply recent events affected everyone involved. In this episode, I expect tensions to rise again, especially between allies who may no longer share the same beliefs. There's a strong sense that ideological conflict is becoming just as dangerous as physical combat. I'm also curious to see how leadership responds to the chaos, and whether control can truly be maintained. This episode feels like it will plant the seeds for even bigger conflict later on. Season 4 continues to blur the line between hero and villain. Let's continue with episode 10 and see how far those divisions grow.
Fight, just fight, right? But when you say, so fight, just fight, who is it you're wanting to fight? I noticed that you said fight twice. Does that mean you'll fight 2 fights, or 1 fight with 2 rounds? Your silence isn't helping your case. I mean, why would you talk to yourself but then ignore another person? This doesn't seem normal at all to me. I've never chatted up my mirror before. But on a brighter note, I'm loving your new hairstyle. Yeah, the disheveled look makes a statement. It's like you can't be bothered to deal with it, 'cause you're busy working so hard.
What did you come here to do?
What do you mean? I came here to talk. The first time we met, we spent all night talking about Titans, remember? Though looking back, I guess you just listened, as I rambled about my research. I had faith in you. I trusted that you would never sacrifice Historia.
Aaron, it's been a year now. I haven't seen you since you picked up our whole ship. I look forward to working beside you.
Too bad. You won't be working with Aaron directly. This meeting is as far as we're willing to go.
More than enough for me. This is an auspicious day. The port's complete at last, and we're about to welcome our first foreign visitors. From the sole nation that's friendly to Paradis, Hizuru. Their special envoy is Kiyomi Azuma Bito.
Do you happen to recognize this family crest?
That shape,
Yeah, you should show it to them.
you think? But Mom told me that I should keep it a secret.
You showed it.
Imagine sitting down to watch Attack on Titan Season 4 Episode 10, thinking, okay, maybe today we'll get a break. No Titans screaming, no limbs flying, just a calm episode. And Attack on Titan looks you dead in the eyes and says, oh, sweet summer child. Because this episode doesn't explode with action. It quietly tightens a noose around everyone's neck, one conversation at a time. Episode 10 is the kind of episode that feels like a group of adults arguing in a locked room while the world slowly burns outside. No one is yelling for no reason. Everyone has a point, everyone is scared, and somehow, everyone is also wrong in their own special way. This is Attack on Titan at its most mature, most political, and most emotionally cruel, because it forces you to think instead of just react. We're back on Paradis Island, a place that used to feel like humanity's last hope, but now feels more like a powder keg held together with duct tape and bad decisions. The military leadership is gathered, and the topic on the table is simple in theory but horrifying in practice. Zeke Yeager and his euthanasia plan. Now, if you ever wanted proof that Attack on Titan doesn't believe in simple villains, Zeke is standing right there. His plan is disturbingly logical. He wants to end the Titan curse by preventing Eldians from ever being born again. No more children means no more Titans, no more hatred, no more war. Peace through extinction, gently, quietly, without bloodshed. It's the kind of plan that sounds reasonable for about 5 seconds, until you realize it requires an entire people to agree to disappear. The military is split, and honestly, you can feel the tension in the room through the screen. Some see Zeke as a necessary evil, a tool they can use to buy time. Others see him as the most dangerous man alive, not because he wants to kill them, but because he wants them to stop existing. And the scariest part? Zeke genuinely believes he's being kind. This is where the episode earns its title. Everyone is making sound arguments. They're logical, well-reasoned.
To me, back when we were just kids, this could be the whole reason she gave it to you. Go on.
Before she died, my mom gave me this mark to match one she had herself. And she asked me to pass it down to my own children.
A noble deed befitting your lineage. Over a century ago, Hizuru Shogun was an ally of the Eldian Empire. We Ozumabitos trace our lineage back to a son who was on good terms with King Fritz and often visited here. After the Great Titan War, our once proud nation was left defeated and in disarray. And amidst the chaos and confusion, a child fathered by the Shogun's heir was somehow left behind on this island. You are the only direct descendants of the family that once led our nation. Put simply, you are Hizuru's hope.
They keep saying the word nation. I still don't understand it.
What matters is that this gives us leverage over Hizuru.
Unless it's a trap, that is.
Right. Perhaps we should ask Yelena's opinion.
No! That's exactly what they want us to do!
We're sure of one thing, at least. In this world that our new port has connected us to, we may as well be a tottering child learning to walk. For now, let's keep quiet and learn what we can from our guests.
Hey, so that symbol, why'd you only show it to Aaron? You've always worn that wrist wrap. I've never seen you take it off.
That's because,
Hey, you're in a good mood.
Of course I am. It seems our ancestors were friends. They've left us both with heavy burdens to bear. But I couldn't have asked for a more perfect match than you.
This is a historic day for both our nations, and it's worth noting that this day would never have come if not for the man who brought us together. I'm speaking, of course, of Zeke Yeager. We conversed with him in secret, and before he would agree to facilitate this meeting, he negotiated with us on behalf of your island. We discussed more than Lady Mikasa.
First of all, take a look at this.
That's
odd. Do you recognize this? It's top secret in Marley. Well, as you may know, this omnidirectional mobility gear is an anti-Titan weapon made in Paradis. This piece doesn't belong to Marley. I procured it myself. Please, consider it a gift. I ought to mention, though, it does need a special type of fuel to operate. It's exceedingly rare. They're calling it Iceburst Stone. It's only ever been mined in Paradis, so very little is known about it. That said, you should be able to find traces of it inside that apparatus.
And backed by fear, experience, and trauma. But logic doesn't make a choice humane. And this episode keeps asking the same uncomfortable question. If a solution ends suffering but also erases lives, is it really a solution? Hovering over all of this is Historia Reiss, the queen who once chose to live for herself instead of the world, and is now being dragged back into history's meat grinder. The military is seriously discussing whether she should inherit the Beast Titan. Not because they hate her, but because they think they need her. It's horrifying in the quietest way possible. And then the episode drops a bomb with almost insulting calmness. Historia is pregnant. No dramatic music, no slow zoom, just information, and suddenly, everything changes. This single revelation sends shockwaves through the entire political situation. If Historia is pregnant, she can't be turned into a Titan anytime soon. Which means the military's plans hit a wall. The timing feels suspicious, and the characters know it. Is this a personal choice? A political move? An act of rebellion? Or all three at once? Attack on Titan refuses to spoon-feed you answers. Instead, it lets the question rot in your mind. Historia's pregnancy becomes more than a plot twist, it becomes a symbol. A queen choosing life in a world obsessed with sacrifice. Or perhaps a queen cornered into using life as a shield. Either interpretation is tragic. While the adults debate the fate of nations, the episode quietly reminds us that the younger generation is watching everything. Falco and Gabby are still here, still breathing the same toxic air of ideology and hatred. Gabby remains convinced that Marley is right and Paradis is evil, clinging to the worldview that gives her suffering meaning. Falco, on the other hand, is unraveling. Falco is one of the most important emotional lenses in this season. He's kind, observant, and deeply uncomfortable with easy answers. In this episode, you can see the cracks forming in his understanding of the world. He doesn't say much, but his silence speaks volumes.
Zeke Yeager's proposal was that we ally with and assist Paradis in exchange for access to a resource that could return our nation to its former glory. It's a rather tempting offer. Thus, while we're aware that he made this offer without surveying your reserves, we suspect that in this modern era, a treasure like Iceburst Stone could change the world and generate a fortune in the process.
Sounds like that's Hizuru's real hope.
Yelena did say that negotiations would go well because the Azumabitos are money grubbers.
This is a dangerous island to visit. I doubt anyone would take the risk if there weren't money to be made.
Hold on. So Zeke Yeager asked you to assist us? What would you assist us with?
As I'm sure you're aware, he's concocted a plan to protect Eldia and the world. We're here because this plan can only succeed with Hizuru's assistance. It calls for a 3-point course of action which would allow you to defend yourselves with your so-called rumbling. This will begin with a test run of the rumbling. You would unleash a fraction of the Titans in your walls, enough to display their destructive potential for all the world to see. That will buy you time with which to modernize and strengthen your army so as to render the rumbling unnecessary. You're 100 years behind the rest of the world. Hizuru will help you catch up. Until then, you must be able to shake the earth by maintaining the founding Titan and having a Titan of royal blood. That's the 3rd point of this plan. Zeke will pass on the Beast Titan to an individual who has royal blood, and that person must spend the 13 years they'll have left, bearing as many children as possible.
Even if we get advanced weapons, will we really stop needing the rumbling? If we choose to rely on it, we'll have to continue the practice of Titan inheritance for generations. I see how it could protect us for the time being, but is that enough of an excuse for us to push this problem onto our descendants? Of course it isn't, and yet...
I understand, and I'm ready. If the rumbling is essential to our survival, I'll do my part. I'm willing to inherit the Beast Titan from Zeke Yeager.
Historia. If Zeke's plan is to buy our salvation, at the price of broken walls, trampled lands, and children bred to be slaughtered like livestock, then I'd say he can go to hell and take his sick little plan with him. Staking our survival on the threat of the rumbling is a dangerous move. So before we commit to it, we should try to find another way. Let's use what time we have to look at our options.
I felt the same sense of urgency that you did, Aaron. That said, I still don't get why you acted on your own. You pushed our island into a war we aren't ready to fight. Why did you stop caring?
He's starting to realize that everyone is trapped. Marlians, Eldians, soldiers, civilians, all crushed under systems they didn't choose. And then there's Eren Yeager. Or rather, the absence of him. Eren doesn't dominate this episode with action or speeches. Instead, he dominates it like a ghost. Everyone talks about him. Everyone plans around him. Everyone fears what he might do next. Eren has become less of a person and more of a looming inevitability. The most unsettling thing is that Eren seems fine with this. He's distant, quiet, and completely unreadable. The boy who once screamed about freedom now barely speaks, as if he's already accepted that he'll be remembered as a monster. And maybe he has. What makes episode 10 so powerful is how it reframes the idea of control. The military thinks they're in charge, but they're reacting, not leading. Zeke thinks he's offering salvation, but he's imposing despair. Historia is a queen, but her body has become a battlefield. And Eren is walking a path no one else can see, convinced that only he can reach the end. This episode doesn't move fast, but it moves deep. Every conversation feels layered. Every pause feels intentional. You start noticing how often characters avoid eye contact, how frequently sentences trail off instead of ending cleanly. This is a world where no one is confident anymore, only determined. One of the most fascinating aspects of this episode is how it handles morality. There's no inspirational speech telling you what's right. No heroic moment where a character stands up and fixes everything. Instead, Attack on Titan forces you to sit with discomfort. To acknowledge that sometimes people do horrible things not because they're evil, but because they genuinely see no other option. By the time the episode ends, nothing has exploded, but everything has shifted. The board is set, the lines are drawn, the alliances are unstable, and the audience is left with a sinking feeling that whatever comes next will not be gentle. Season 4 Episode 10 is not about action. It's about consequence.
About Historia?
I've taken the Warhammer Titan's power. Its hardening ability allows me to build structures from thin air, or carve them into earth and stone. Which means you can never build a prison deep or strong enough to hold me in against my will. I can leave this cell anytime I want. And since I have the Founding Titan, you can't kill me. You might threaten to kill Zeke, but that's not a real option either. So tell me, Hanji, is there anything you actually can do? If you know something I don't, then let's hear it! If you've got something up your sleeve, then tell me what it is!
Hands off, you pervert! Ever the rebellious teen, huh? Grow up, idiot! Irvin, this is the one time you bet on the wrong horse. Why did you ever think that I could be commander?
Why don't you come in, Historia? You need to take better care of yourself.
If no one else will say it, then I will. We should have stuck with our plan and fed Zeke to Historia as soon as he got to the island. We'd all be safer if we had. Ha! But we let her do what she pleased, and so she got pregnant. Then again, what did we expect? I mean, she's an up-jump bastard who's queen in name alone.
Hey, quit it. The Queen has every right to choose a partner for herself. He's been checked out, so we know he's not anyone's lackey. He's someone she knows. Apparently, they grew up in the same area. As a kid, he'd throw rocks at the Queen because she wouldn't leave her farm. He must have wanted her to notice him. He said that when she opened her orphanage, he started working there out of guilt. I believe him. He worked hard and kept his head down for years there. She approached him in the end.
I don't give a damn about their love story. Look, what I'm concerned about is why the girl selfishly decided to get herself knocked up when she did. And I think I've got a good guess. Somebody told her that it would stop us from turning her into a Titan. I bet it was that turncoat Yelena. The giantess is nuts, but she's smart too, and that's a dangerous combination. Just put a baby in the Queen and Zeke Yeager gets to live another day.
Rogue, you've had too much.
If we were smart, we'd still do it. Turn her into a Titan whether she's pregnant or not.
That would probably kill the child. And if miscarrying kills the Queen too, we're doomed. It's too risky. Giving birth poses a threat to her life as it is.
That's a perfectly sound argument that could bring our country to ruin. Hey, Marley, get us another bottle.
It's about the terrifying moment when you realize that survival and morality are no longer on the same side. And it's about how freedom, when pursued without compromise, can become indistinguishable from destruction. For a YouTube recap, this episode is gold. Not because it's flashy, but because it invites discussion. It makes viewers argue in the comments. It makes them pick sides, then doubt those sides 5 minutes later. And that's exactly what Attack on Titan wants. This episode whispers instead of screams. And somehow, that whisper feels louder than any Titan roar we've heard before. And now, before we end this recap, let's slow things down just a little more and zoom in on one single detail from this episode. A detail that looks small on the surface, but quietly reshapes the entire story going forward. Yes, we're talking about Historia's pregnancy, the plot point that was dropped so casually it almost feels rude. What makes this moment so powerful isn't just the shock value. It's the way Attack on Titan presents it. There's no dramatic build-up, no emotional speech, no tearful confession. The information is delivered almost like a footnote in a political discussion, as if a queen carrying a child is just another inconvenience on a strategic checklist. And that, right there, is the first layer of tragedy. Historia is no longer being discussed as a person. She's being discussed as a variable. From the military's point of view, the timing is suspicious. Almost too perfect. Right when they need her to inherit the Beast Titan, she's suddenly pregnant. It's hard not to see this as a calculated move, either orchestrated by Historia herself or encouraged by someone else. And the episode never confirms anything, which is exactly the point. Attack on Titan doesn't care about gossip-level answers. It cares about what this situation reveals about the world these characters live in. Because think about it. Whether Historia chose this pregnancy out of love, fear, rebellion, or survival, the result is the same. Her body becomes a shield. A political obstacle.
As you wish, sir. Clades. Niccolo. You should recommend this one.
Hey! Is this really something they needed us to do?
Nope. They'd have hired someone. If that idiot hadn't opened his mouth and volunteered our help. We can develop the island and our muscles at the same time, my ass.
Well, we don't have much else to do except wait for Hizuru's answer.
Uh-huh. Hopefully with their help, we can win some friends in this world. It might be a long shot, but it could be an alternative to the rumbling, and that could save Historia from suffering.
Hey! Whew! It can't be easy working your butts off when it's this hot out.
Yeah, well, we have to be here to watch over this moron, right?
You brats got taller. It's like you're sprouting up just to spite me.
Hear anything from Hizuru yet?
That's why we're here, the Azumabitos replied.
What'd they say?
It's no good. Hizuru either can't or won't help us with this. Makes sense. Hizuru has a monopoly on any resources that we want to export right now. So why would they ever help us trade with other countries? From what I hear, the world's major powers want Paradis to be the root of all evil. We're the shared foe that helps bring them together. Their hatred for us promotes global stability.
Then, do we have to rely on the rumbling? Do we have no choice but to sacrifice Historia?
That's right.
So what? The world's decided that we're devils, regardless of what our intentions are? They can't want us to repeat the past, so why won't they consider peace?
Probably because they don't know better. They don't know anything about us, and that makes them afraid.
I agree. Our neighbors across the sea won't trust people whose faces they've never seen. So let's sail out and meet them. If they don't know anything about us, then we'll just have to teach them. That's what we scouts always do, right?
So the plan is to infiltrate Marley and set up a base there, huh?
I like it. Hanji has a plan for everything, am I right? It's exciting. We'll all get to chow down on food from a distant land.
Yeah. Wonder what we should pack. Hope that foreign food doesn't give us the runs.
We'll need to pack some antacids, a toothbrush, and a taste of home.
Did you even hear Hanji's plan?
If we can just find a way to convince the world that all we want is peace, maybe our situation will change. If we only had a little more time left. My time will be up in just over 5 years. We need to make a decision soon.
Living, do not touch, sign in a system that has no problem sacrificing people for stability. And if that makes you uncomfortable, good. It's supposed to. Historia's entire life has been shaped by other people's decisions. She was born unwanted, raised to believe she was worthless, manipulated into being a symbol, and finally crowned queen not because she wanted power, but because the world needed her to play a role. For one brief, beautiful moment back in Season 3, she chose herself. She rejected her father, rejected false heroism, and chose to live honestly. Now here we are, and history is knocking on her door again. The pregnancy can be read as Historia's quiet refusal to be used, a way to say, I won't become your weapon. In a series obsessed with inheritance, bloodlines, and children paying for the sins of their parents, Historia choosing to bring new life into the world is both hopeful and horrifying. Hopeful because it's life, horrifying because of the world that life is being born into. There's also a sharp contrast here with Zeke's euthanasia plan. Zeke wants to end suffering by ensuring no more Eldians are born. Historia, intentionally or not, directly opposes that philosophy by choosing continuation. One plan is about erasing the future to fix the present. The other insists that the future deserves a chance, no matter how cruel the present is. And neither option is clean. This is where the writing gets almost painfully subtle. Historia doesn't convey a speech defending her choice. She doesn't justify herself. She simply exists, pregnant, alive, inconvenient. And that silence forces the audience to project their own values onto her decision. Is she selfish for protecting herself? Brave for resisting? Tragic for being forced into this corner at all? The episode never tells you what to think. It only shows you how quickly a human life can be reduced to a strategic problem. Another fascinating angle is how this moment reflects Oren's influence, even when he's not present. Oren has always hated the idea of Historia being sacrificed.
About who to give my Titan to.
I think it should be me.
No, not an option. We don't even know if Ackermans are able to turn into Titans. And even if you could, Hizuru would be furious about it. You're their long-lost heir, remember? It can't be you for more reasons than I can count.
Who do you think it should be?
This guy. First of all, I'm a whole lot smarter than Eren. We've replaced this suicidal maniac with a gifted leader who shows good judgment in all situations. A rare specimen who can perform whatever duty is required. I don't much like getting his hand-me-downs. But hey, I'm the best candidate we've got.
Sure, except we can't afford to lose someone that valuable after just 13 years, moron.
Ah?
You should aim to become the regiment's next commander. I'll inherit Eren's Titan myself. Yeah, that should work, right?
Connie.
No, that won't work at all. You're way too much of an idiot.
Eh?
Use your head, Connie. This is a really important duty, and we can't entrust it to someone who's slow like you.
Huh?
You really get my goat sometimes. I'll inherit it, okay? I'm an experienced veteran, and I've proven that I'm someone you can rely on. By process of elimination, you've got to use me.
You guys.
I get that I have to, but still I really don't wanna.
Sasha, wait. You're not making any sense.
Huh?
I mean, you know, we can't give his Titan to an idiot. You just told me that. But think, you're more of an idiot than me, which means you just contradicted yourself, right? Huh?
I'm not planning on handing it down to any of you.
Why not?
Because you're important to me. More than anyone else. I hope you live long lives.
Huh? Hold on! What are you turning red for? The hell kind of mood are you trying to set here?
Sorry.
Sean, it's just the sunset. That's what's making our faces red.
Oh, right. That makes sense. There's nothing to be done then. So Pixis detained the volunteers? Such a strong-arm tactic. It's hard to believe he'd go that far.
They had built good working relationships with a lot of us scouts, so our regiment wasn't notified in advance.
That said, I doubt
His rage at the system that consumes its own people has been building since early seasons. Historia's pregnancy, whether coordinated with him or not, aligns eerily well with his growing rejection of all inherited roles. In a strange way, this child becomes a symbol of defiance against the cycle that defines the Attack on Titan world. A world where children inherit Titan powers, grudges, wars, and expectations before they can even speak. Historia's child hasn't been born yet, and already the audience is asking the same terrifying question. Will this child be free? And that's the cruel irony. A pregnancy, something normally associated with hope, becomes another source of anxiety in this story. Not because the child is unwanted, but because freedom in this world is never guaranteed. It has to be taken, protected, or paid for in blood. What truly elevates this detail is how quietly it's handled. Attack on Titan doesn't scream, "This is important." It trusts the viewer to feel it, to sit with the discomfort, to realize that this one revelation undermines entire military strategies and philosophical arguments. It also reminds us that while men argue about plans and ideologies, women's bodies often become the battlefield those plans are fought on. Historia doesn't need to be chained or imprisoned, her existence alone becomes leverage. By the end of the episode, Historia's pregnancy lingers in the air like an unanswered question. It doesn't resolve anything, it complicates everything, and that's exactly why it works so well as a narrative device. This isn't just a twist. It's a mirror held up to the themes of Attack on Titan: freedom versus control, life versus ideology, and the terrifying cost of being born into a broken world. So when the episode ends, and the screen fades to black, remember this. The most powerful thing in this episode isn't a Titan, a weapon, or a plan. It's the quiet fact that in a world obsessed with ending bloodlines, someone chose to create one. And in Attack on Titan, that might be the most dangerous choice of all.
Has had much choice. Because until we understand Zeke's real intentions, his presence here puts us in a tough spot. I wonder what made Eren decide to go with his plan. Him and Zeke must have talked, but what was said? Well, no one knows except for them.
Hey, did that guy look like Eren when you all saw him? Because if you ask me, that wasn't Eren. And if whoever that was is capable of picking his half-brother over us, then...
If he is, then what?
Then I say we'll need to be prepared to cut him down ourselves if necessary.
I won't let you.
Are you taking their side too, Mikasa? Come on.
I don't think it'll come to that. Eren cares about us more than anyone else. Everyone here should know that. Maybe that's why he's become so combative towards anyone who isn't one of us. It's because his feelings are so strong.
No, that isn't it. He's always seen your strength, but the Eren that we used to know would still try to keep you away from the front lines. But he used you in that battle, sent Armin to destroy that port. He called the rest of us important too, and he used us just the same.
But maybe that's just because he trusts us. I mean, if we hadn't helped him, his plan would have failed.
Yeah, and Sasha would be alive right now. Hey, what do you think Eren did when I told him she had died? Do you think he cried? Or showed some regret, maybe?
Connie, stop.
The bastard laughed. I wonder what part of our friend's death that it was. That he found so damn amusing. Why don't you explain, Mikasa? Why did Eren start laughing? You know everything about him. Right?
We need to talk to him. Just Eren, Mikasa, and me. We'll give him a chance to explain his goal.
Are you sure that'll help? Tell me, what if his goals are the same as Zeke's?
The volunteers gave us Titan serum, so we have a choice now.
Wait, what are you saying?
We can choose to turn someone who we can trust into a Titan, and then have them inherit the Founder from Eren. Gabi and Falco escape from their cell. They wander, lost and alone, through the wilderness, till they find themselves saved by one of the devils they've been taught to hate. Next episode, Deceiver.
Thank you so much for watching this video on General Sansan Anime. I really appreciate you spending your time here and sharing this anime journey with me. If you enjoyed this reaction, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Your support truly means a lot and helps the channel grow stronger every day. I'll be back very soon with more exciting reactions, emotional moments, and unforgettable anime scenes for all of us to experience together. Until next time, take care, keep enjoying anime, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.